News Nation's Leah Lando is in New York with the latest on that and whether or not authorities are drawing any connections between this rash of incidents.
Yes, good morning, Marnie. Good morning to all of you. Right now, they are not making any announcements about any connections as far as these incidents being coordinated attempts. But what we do know is they are all very serious cases. They're all being investigated. And of course, as you mentioned, because we're at war, we are on heightened alert. So let's take a look at the case in Toronto. Officials say 2 men fired shots outside the U.S. consulate Tuesday. No injuries, thankfully, reported. Canadian police call it a national security investigation, but they don't have any suspects, they say, in custody right now, or know the motive or any links. Here in New York City, there's been a lot going on over the last several days. 2 men, 18 and 19 years old, they are charged with terrorism after police say they tried to detonate explosives near Gracie Mansion, throwing an IED into a crowd of protesters. The Justice Department says they acted in support of ISIS. So we can't map any of these individual cases together at this point, Marnie. But of course, that is a big concern and something we're keeping an eye on, Marnie.
And from what it sounds like, they're more concerned about smaller lone wolf attacks or threats.
Right. And I know you've talked a lot about this. We've all heard a lot about this. Sleeper cells, so-called sleeper cells, or individuals who are perhaps radicalized or just want to retaliate for what is going on over in Iran. That's what they're paying close attention to. Cyber attacks as well. Those could create chaos. DHS says Iran's proxies are ongoing threats, but large-scale attacks, they say those are less likely.
Leah Lando is live at that scene tonight, just a few blocks from Gracie Mansion. Leah, what have you been seeing today?
Natasha, some very tense moments here on the Upper East Side over the last couple of days. Residents are really on alert today. They couldn't get back into their homes. Some were told to evacuate. This as police were investigating another suspicious device that they tell me they found inside a vehicle here. I want to show you video of the search. It was a very active scene for so many hours today. The bomb squad searching that vehicle. They say they removed the device for further testing. They tell us
the January jobs report is officially out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Let's go out to Leah Lando at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange in Times Square with all the details. Leah, good morning to you. What's the data? What's it reveal?
Yep, good morning. Yeah, we just got this information and our team has been working through the numbers. This is that jobs report that was expected out last week, delayed because of the partial government shutdown. So let's take a look at these numbers just in.
News Nation national correspondent Leah Lando has all the details for us. Leah, good morning to you. Help us read between the lines here, because the president's not backing down from his military threat, even as he pushes for diplomacy on this.
Yeah, that's right, Marky. President Trump saying that he wants to reach a deal with Iran. That was underscored on Wednesday when he met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We're told that meeting lasted for about 3 hours, and this is the 7th time the two have met.
Deep freeze. Leah Lando is in the thick of it to bring us the very latest. Leah.
Yes, Kelly, many people watching, as you mentioned, are feeling what we're feeling here in New York City, the bitter cold temperatures. Our meteorologist based here in New York tells me that he's never seen temperatures feel like temperatures this low in Manhattan. We're dealing with around -10 throughout the day today. Upstate New York, closer to
News Nation's Leah Lando. She is live at a grocery store where they accept those benefits with all the details on these changes. Leah.
Yes, Kelly, it's the first thing you see when you walk in the door here. It says we accept SNAP benefits. According to U.S. officials, about 41 million Americans receive these benefits to buy groceries. But because of these new requirements requiring people to show they work, some could potentially lose them. So we're keeping an eye on that. These are
List correspondent Hannah Brandt outside the White House for us, and Leah Lando live from New York City. Well, thank you so much.
Power outages, those continue. And here in New York, we are expecting this cold to stick around for at least the next 3 weeks or so. So the snow that you see behind me not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah,
Natasha.
Please stay warm. Leah Lando live in New York with that. Thank you.
Hardest hit areas are urging people to stay off the roadways so they can do their jobs, so they can clean up. And of course, there are flight cancellations and delays and power outages. So if you are heading to the airport, if you have a flight, as always, make sure you check and make sure it's on time and not canceled or delayed. Natasha.
Leah Lando tracking that live for us tonight. Stay warm. Thank you.
News Nation's Leah Lando. She is live at Newark International Airport with how all of this weather is impacting travel all across the country. Leah.
It certainly is, Kelly. Love that story about the cheeseburgers, making the best of it. So many of you dealing with winter weather, the cold, the snow. On the board behind me, the departure board, just over the last couple of hours, I've seen cancellations to Charleston, Charlotte, and Savannah. Meteorologists telling me that this storm is largely impacting Georgia, Virginia, and Carolina, impacting tens of millions of people.
Orlando, live with the new details tonight and why this case is now fueling fresh questions. Leah.
Yeah, and Natasha, I've been looking into this case and other cases in California, and investigators say millions of dollars that was supposed to be used to fight homelessness, provide things like housing and food for homeless individuals, was instead used by one man to purchase luxury items like a multi-million-dollar house and much more.
The very latest on the storm impacting millions of us. Leah.
Natasha, you mentioned those delays. I just spoke with a group of people here in New York City. We're in Times Square, where, as you can see, there are still so many people out despite the cold, despite the snow. But I spoke with a group. They were supposed to go back home to Georgia today, some tourists here in Manhattan, but of course their flight was canceled, so they're making the best of it here. As you can see, we did get several inches of snow, and it has now turned from snow into a wet rain, a sleet mixture, making just for a mess on the roads. And
Leah, what are travel conditions looking like in the Big Apple right now?
Kelly, I can tell you, we're not used to seeing this much accumulation on city streets here in Manhattan. And that is the big story perhaps here. Plus, that coupled with the cold. The mayor did announce that he believes that 5 people died due to the extreme cold. I know last night we were out in it, and I was telling you how much it hurt just to feel the cold on the exposed skin. I did speak with an emergency room doctor who says how dangerous it can be to be out in these conditions. So he's warning people, if you don't have to be outside, don't be outside. Now, that said, we've been driving around, and I'm going to do that right now safely. I'm going to keep my eye on the road so that we can show you what is going on here in New York. Well, as you mentioned, it created this new division because it says there are some very sophisticated scams out there targeting government-funded programs, and something needs to be done about it. Yeah, Kelly, a lot of eyes on this because, as you know, so many people struggle to make ends meet when it comes to childcare. So the New York City mayor and the governor of New York announcing on Thursday their plan for universal free childcare would begin with 2-year-olds. And the governor says that it would start here in the city, but they would want to push it across the state. So
from Maduro's first day in court.
As you mentioned, he did plead not guilty on all 4 charges. We had a crew inside the federal courtroom yesterday, and Maduro told the judge he's innocent. He said he's a decent man, and he repeated multiple times that he is still the leader of Venezuela. He and his wife going before the judge.
Leah, big day today. What are we expecting from this?
Yeah, that's right, Marky. Today it is all about whether the death penalty should be on the table in this federal trial for Luigi Mangione and what evidence will be admissible. We've heard a lot of talk about the evidence and how it was collected. Now, Luigi Mangione hasn't been inside a federal courtroom since April.
Orlando is live for us there in New York. So, Leah, what more are you learning about these meetings, about these phone calls?
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. It's not really surprising that the incoming New York City mayor is meeting and reaching out to Democratic leaders, right? But perhaps what's most notable here is who he is reaching out to. We are talking about some big names in the Democratic Party who have taken on President Trump.
Our Leah Lando is live in New York City with more on Mamdani's second day leading America's largest city. Hey, Leah.
Yeah, he's been very busy lately, and all along, Mamdani has talked about affordability on his campaign trail, and then he's still talking about it now. And today it was more about inclusivity, Brian. He talked about how he wants everyone to have a voice in the process, and he announced the mayor's office of mass engagement, and here's what he said about that.